So this is the 7 classes to clearing the way to creating your success. And because there's 7 steps, so I want to kind of really make sure from my perspective and the work that I do, that you've got everything out of the way that we can possibly find right now that could be in the way of landing this step. Now, with kinesiology and the energy work that I do, what it means is your body's only going to bring up or what you can deal with at the time. So sure, later on, you're going to be finding things that are in the way, but right now, this is the things that you need to let go of today. Okay, and also because we're working in a quantum field or with a bigger understanding of the universe, anybody can watch this later and it's going to be hitting the spot somewhere for them at this time. That's just, isn't it lovely? That's just the way energy works. So, this is why we always get what we need wherever we are. We've always got to have that mindset. Okay, so this is the 7 classes. So let's get into it. So there's 7 steps to manifesting. Now, I didn't make this up, by the way. These aren't my 7 steps. This is what I've read and learnt about. So I'm not the genius that has made this up. So we're going to start with vision. And this is what we're going to really play with today and really open up the space to get a better vision and a better feeling of that vision today. And it's about having a picture of what you want and really feeling what it is. For some people, you won't be too visual, and that's not going to work for you. So, it's going to be, it'll be feeling for some people. It'll be hearing people telling you how great you are or seeing stuff written somewhere. So we're not going to pretend that you're all great visualizers, because a lot of people aren't. And for this process that I'm going to do with you, I'm going to get you to write. So I'm not going to get you to sit there and visualize. I'm going to get you to write. So make sure that you've got, a nice pen and paper, and we're going to write stuff out rather than sit there and visualize. And for some of you going, oh my God, this hasn't worked for me. I've seen nothing. And that girl over there who's amazing has just seen heaps of stuff. So that's why we're going to do the writing. Okay, so here we go. These are the 7 steps. So the number 1 is the vision. Next Monday or next Sunday, if you're in the States, we're going to do desire. And that is, you've got to have a strong desire. Without the desire, you're not going to get things happening. So if you've got any scarcity or you're worried about stuff, you're not really in a desire energy, you're in a need energy. So if you're doing sales at the moment, or you're trying to get people to invest in you, and it's not a desire, it's a need, you're straight away going to block it happening for you in a really gracious, delicious way. So your vision must be accomplished by a strong desire. So we're going to do that at step 2. The step 3 is the belief. So whatever stage you are, you've got to make sure that you make sure you do those 2 before you jump in belief. You don't come into step 3. But this is the one that could be blocking the shift forward. You have to really believe that it's possible. So this is why I have a lot of people that go, oh yeah, I'm going to be $1 million coach, or I'm going to make $50,000 a month, or whatever it is. They actually don't believe that, and they've been coached to think that it's possible. And that's where you get this, this real disappointment and this real, your spirit's not showing up. You're going to really sabotage yourself, because then it's going to bleed to everything else in your life. So you've got to actually believe that it's possible. So that, and sometimes it's more positive to do, I call it Jacob's ladder. You do the next step of your belief that it can hold, and you're always going to grow to the next level. You don't try and, do what the person you see out there on social media is doing. You can have it there. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Yeah, that's possible. But I absolutely believe that my next step is this income or this outcome. Does that make sense? So the 4th one, and that's really important. So we've got to be in your lane with that. The 4th one is acceptance. You must totally accept yourself. This is a big one, because most of us don't. And your new belief as true. So absolutely accept that. Oh my God, I'm totally good at this. I'm amazing at this. I can totally do it. And then accept the new belief as true. I absolutely believe that it's possible that I'm going to make 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, that I'm going to sell. I've got a lot of people in the real estate place. They're going to sell those 10 properties before Christmas, and it's absolutely possible. So you've got to really accept that, this is what I normally do, or this is what's really possible for me. So it's an acceptance energy. That's when I can't wait to do that with you guys. There's going to be some self-esteem stuff. There's going to be some old little stuff stuck in there. That's the piece that could be missing. So step 5 will be intention. You must intend to manifest with all your will. With all your will. You're going to manifest this with all your will. So what happens is, you know, the Gary V energy is really good for that. You know, like he's trying to get everyone, come on, willpower, willpower, willpower. But if you haven't got all those steps in place, willpower is not going to do anything. But this is where you might have to grind a little bit and really focus and make it a conscious choice. You know what? I'm choosing this. Might have to work a bit harder or forego a few things, but this is what I'm choosing. But it's not an effort. Like you see out there in the entrepreneurial space, they're talking about effort. It's just a focused attention. And this is where we get into this energy of flow, where we're not just pushing, or we're going to burn out. Does that make sense? And the 6th one is behave. You have to behave as if it's literally already exists in your present day. So you've got to behave like you've already sold those properties, or you've got to behave like people have already got incredible results, like Michelle talked about from her group program. They're already writing the testimonials. They're already like completely had breakthroughs. You behave like it's already happened. So in quantum science, we're going ahead in time, and we're operating from that feeling that it's already happened. So you need to ground all the ideas and the actions that you do. So your body language will be different. You'll breathe differently. You'll spend money on different things. You might be putting away for money for things that you haven't put away for. If you're in a whole different space. And the last one is the most beautiful one, and that is allowance. So you have to have the intensity of what you have to do, what you want, with absolutely no expectation that it has to manifest at all. And this is the one that entrepreneurs find it hard to let go. And I was just talking to one of the beautiful sales agents earlier, just before actually, she might be on this call. You've got to operate from that place that you have to let it go, that it's actually okay if it doesn't happen. Because this is when you really get to the next level. It's this or something better. So we always say it's this or something better. So that's a real paradox, and this is a piece that you can't let go often, and this is the piece that burns you out. Okay, anybody got any questions on that so far? That's what we're covering. So we'll break down each step, each class. Okay, so when you stretch your imagination to think bigger, it can change the way the future can happen for you. So, you know, the old way of doing business is you looked around, you saw what was possible, you saw what everyone else was doing, and you tried to kind of fit in and kind of copy and do that. We're working in a different paradigm. We're working in this paradigm of manifesting and having your own sovereignty and your own ability to create your own life. So in quantum science, time is not linear. So if we can daydream and anchor the feelings and expressions of exactly what it would look like to be living and working in a certain way, it has more likelihood of coming into being. And, you know, a lot of the times we've just sort of done this by mistake. And we go, oh my God, I feel amazing. This is just how I imagined it. Oh, I was at this resort before and I didn't ever imagine I'd be able to come here and do a retreat with my clients, whatever it is. You know, so you're actually doing this naturally, but we want to give it space and give it a bit of energy. Make sure that we don't drop into fear. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so your success is all about your sense of value. So when you're shifting to a greater paradigm of success, it is completely up to you to create it. No one will do it for you. So you see all this stuff out there like, you know, make sure you create your own dreams or you become part of someone else's. This is really true. And we don't want to get kind of all bullish about it, but we just need to know that we need to create this. We need to allow a bit of space in our lives. We're really thinking about our lives and our business in this way. And even if you have no idea how it would work out, you just imagine it as that person who lives in that space, like you did as a kid, like you would have done as a child. We've got to go back to that childlike wonder, that curiosity. And, you know, the first thing you do is you see someone more successful or doing something that you'd like to do, you just imagine, wow, Not like, oh, how do I get there? Do I need to be like them? I'm not good enough. You go, well, I could totally imagine being in that place or doing that thing or having that material thing that you think you might like. So let the future begin now on some level in your nervous and energetic system. So you know that the kind of work that I do is related to the nervous and energetic system. And if we kind of can reframe that and repattern that, everything kind of gets into a bit more flow. So in doing this process, we can set up new brain synapses. So you'll automatically start thinking in ways to create such outcomes. And subconsciously, you'll start to activate the right mindset and intuitive decision making, and you can create, well, what you can create for your possible future. So that's what we're going to do today. My job for you today is not going to take, I'm not going to do a whole lot of coaching necessarily. I'm not even going to really check too much into your vision. And if it's the right vision or if it's dialed in enough, I'm going to leave that to you today. But what I'm going to help you do is clear the emotions so that we can get out of that part of your nervous system and into a different feeling, and therefore your creativity and your brain will give you something better to work with. Okay, that's what we're doing in this course. This is a particular thing for that. So then you can start to recognize the signposts as a new way to be successful without the fear and the struggle, and operating from a small or competitive place. So, you know, that small or competitive place thing, it's like when you're looking around and you're trying to, you can't manifest by looking around. You can get ideas of seeing things that other people are doing, and you'll get that, it'll feel like you'll resonate with, I'd love to do that. That's a good feeling. If you look at someone and you go, oh, they're doing better than me, how do I become that? That's not a good feeling. Chuck it out straight away. Instead, try and get that feeling of, oh my God, that looks amazing. I could do that. If you get that lift, that's when we know we can get a flow on that. Otherwise, it's not your story. You're just playing an envy, competitive, small game. You've got to have that lift when you look at it and think, that looks amazing. So success always starts from the inside out. Okay, so let's have a look. So let's start with some clearing techniques. Now, there's always a ceiling on what you think is possible for you. And if we don't clear this, we're not going to get to the new paradigm. So let's, first of all, what I want you to do is, I want you to just on a piece of paper, because we're going to use paper for this. We're not going to visualize because not everyone relates to that. I want you to just write down, I'm going to give you, let's say, a minute and a half to write down what you think your vision is, what it is that you'd really like to see, feel, and have in your life. So I'm just going to time you. We're just going to, don't overthink it. And we've just got a kinesiology circuit open, so it should be a lot easier to kind of track into the subconscious with a little bit of Jedi that we've just done. So you should be able to just write it out. So just write down what it is. So writing down, I find writing down is it gets a little bit to the soul, a little bit easier than just closing your eyes and meditating. You can write directly from the soul. One more minute. Okay, does anybody want to share what they had? Anybody keen to share what they got, what they had as a vision? Let me know. Anyone keen to share, call out if you are. Sometimes it's good to get a bit of a view of someone. Okay, cool.
I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry, Jen. It's Jen Succeeder here. I'm happy to share mine. So it's fairly broad, but it's basically kind of working with kind of in conscious evolution work and energy healing, whether that could be in corporate or outside, but being kind of abundantly well paid so that I can work within working hours that suit me and my family, and working with inspiring, wonderful people.
Okay, so that's good. So just write that down, and we're going to clear anything around it, and then let's see if we get more detail on it. Okay,
Cool, thanks.
so that sounds good, and then we're going to go deeper. Corey, do you want to tell us what you've got?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My vision is to have the Body Mantra program running and part of the school system for all girls in Year 9, to actually have girls have the tools to tap into their own intuition and trust themselves. And
their bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so guys, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up an emotion. Now, when we're working with group energy, there's always something in this for you. So, if you think, oh, hang on, that sounds like Jen's picked up someone else's emotion, I want you to dig a bit deeper and find something in it that is related to you, because it may be it's like a domino, just maybe that one thing that can really kind of shift the energy. Does that make sense? So we're going to dig in and we're going to find a couple of emotions to clear based on what you've just written down. Okay, I've got the emotion trapped. So I want you to write down now how you feel trapped about creating that. In what way do you feel trapped? Who's trapping you? What feels trapped about it? Just write that down for me. Dig deep on the feeling trapped. Okay, and the next emotion that I've got is self-reliant, but it's coming up as a negative emotion. So I want you to write down what is about this energy of self-reliance that feels it's actually a block for you. It feels negative. Maybe you feel like you have to rely on yourself too much, or it's all about you. What is it? Just write down what comes to mind. And I really trust the automatic writing. So just write down whatever comes out on the paper, even if it surprises you, just write it out. What's the self-reliant energy that feels too negative? Have you relied on yourself before and it hasn't happened? Like bring everything up that you can think of. Okay, anybody want to share anything from trapped or self-reliant to people? When you share, I'm really grateful when you do share, because sometimes people go, I never thought of that. Or you hear someone else's dream and go, oh, wow, they're dreaming like that. I can too. So just call out if you can, if you want to share that.
Yeah, it's Lori here.
Yeah.
So the trap for me is how previous responsibilities or goals or choices dictate my need or lifestyle choices now. So that gives me a feeling of trapped.
Trapped. Okay, good. Let's get rid of that. Anyone else got something to share? Anyone got something on self-reliant they want to share?
Jen, yes. It was interesting. I can't rely on others to help or support me, as it is a sign of weakness. And when they let me down, I'm worse off than if I'd have just relied on myself in the first place.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So we're going to flip this, because all these things, as you know, because you're also doing similar work, is it just blocks creativity. It blocks where you need to go. Okay, so let's flip it. So I'm going to flip it for you. The first one I've got, and I'm just going to go with this. I really trust this process. After all these years, I just like, no, don't second guess it, just trust it. I've got humility. The first virtue or emotion that we need to feel into to shift this is humility. It must be a big one too, because I've got a few goosebumps as I was saying that for you guys. So humility, we need to embrace the energy of humility. So can you just write a few words about, if you really embrace this energy of humility, what would it look like with regards to your vision? Just write that down. Okay, and the next virtual or emotional feeling and understanding that you need to embody and align to, the word I got was demand, and I just looked it up for a synonym on that, and I've got authority. So we need authority. So I want you to write down, if you embody the energy of authority, what would that look like? Just write that down. So humility and authority is what is the next energy that we need to embrace to take this vision just to the next level. So just write down what you've got, what you could, if you embraced authority or this feeling of authority, well, you were given the authority to do this deeper work in the world, what would it be? If people gave you authority in that space, what would it look like? Okay, so let's pick that up, and I'm just going to mute you all so you can't hear each other, so you can carry on and yell this to the stars, no one can hear it. And I want you to say, my goal for this balance. My goal for this balance is humility and authority. So you can say it out loud. So yeah, I can see Laurie's here, so I can sneak what she's doing. My goal for this balance is humility and authority. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine the feeling of what that's going to feel like to pull this off, what you wrote down, this vision. This real humility around your authority to actually be able to do it, what that would be like. Okay, and now I want you to bunch up your fingers like that. Whenever I do this, I wish I had really nice manicured nails, but I never do, so there you go. And I want we're going to look up, and you're going to keep our faces straight, and we're going to roll our eyes around, following our hand very, very slowly. So if you want to watch me first, what we're doing is we're stacking in parts of the brain that need to get this, that are blocked. And what it does is it sends a whole lot of nervous system responses throughout the body, and then we're going to clean them up. It's almost like we're doing a detox. So do it in a circle very slowly round, and then go the other way. Those of you that have worked with me know how this goes. Craig's onto this. Most of you guys know how to do this. Okay, so what we've done, and I love this, what we've done is we've pulled everything out of the brain that will never find, or take us, years and years of, kinesiology counseling to kind of uncover these blocks. We kind of swooped them all up in this particular alignment towards this vision. So that's cool. We can really stack them in really quickly, pull them up, almost like a fisherman pulling in a net. We've just netted a whole lot of stuff as opposed to using a fishing line. So what I want you to do is I want you to put your hand on your forehead. We're just going to clear one age. I'm just going to pick one age, and God willing, I'm going to pick one that you all relate to. And it's going to be 10 to 11 preconception, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, 20, 25, 21, 22. What were you doing when you were 22? What were you like when you were 22? We either need to own the virtues of you at 22, some of the smartness that you had at 22, or we need to clear some shit that happened at 22 that's either not making you humble or not giving you a sense of authority. So just actually stop for a minute and write down what happened at 22 that could relate to this feeling trapped energy. and how it's blocking your brain from working in a different system of thinking about humility and authority. If anyone's got any questions, let me know. Okay, so let's clear it. So some of you that have worked with me, you can look this up on the website if you haven't. We're going to do the kind of little signature clearing technique that I do because it's so easy and it's so quick, and it just covers so many of the bases of the body's meridians, the organs, the nervous system, the chakras, the auric field. It also relates to shock and trauma. So it just picks everything up, and I really love it. You know, there's this tapping's really great. There's all sorts of things you can do, but I love this one, and it seems to work really well. So I want you to put your hand on your forehead, and I want you to think about that age that we had. And what we're going to do is we're going to tap straight down the midline, like you've got a hoodie and a zip. And the zip starts here and it finishes there, you know, just like when you're wearing a hoodie or a sweatshirt when you go into the gym. So we're going to breathe in, really think about that time, and breathing out. And breathing in, breathing out, and in and out. Really thinking about that time and just saying to yourself, yeah, that's what it was like for me. Yeah, I was like that. I'm not like that now, and my brain needs to know that I'm not like that now. So that's why I'm tapping. I've got it. It's going to get filed in a different part of my brain. I might need to use it, but right now it's not going to run everything. It's not going to run everything and stitch me up. Okay. Okay, that's good. So let's go on. So now what I was doing then, I was clearing the way before we actually get the vision. So I kind of tricked you. Now we're going to call in the vision. So you wrote down what looked like a business plan, really. Now we're going to call it in, really call it in. So I want you to write on your piece of paper freely without pausing your pens. What does it look like? So for you, Jennifer, like, what does it actually look like? What are you wearing? You know, you've done a bit of this work with me already. Bring it back. You're like, what are you wearing? What do I feel like? Like, you know, do my legs feel different? Like random things. Do are my thighs all muscular now? Like, what is it? I know that sounds really random, but go deep on it. What do I sound like? What does my beautiful son sound like when I get back from doing my retreats or whatever it is? What are they saying about me? Who are the people that you're impacting? What do the testimonials look like? Where am I holidaying? What's happened? Can I put an extension on the house now? Like, what is actually happening? Do I have more guides coming to work with me? So really write it down. If anyone's got any questions or needs any help, a clue, let me know. So the people that have just joined, welcome, welcome, welcome. What you need to do is just write down what it is that you want to create. Lily, welcome to you, Lily. So just write down, and you can catch up, Lily, it's all good, what this vision is. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? Even if it feels impossible, just write it down. Remember, there's a whole lot of research on it, guys. There's massive research on it. The bigger the dream, the more likely it comes true. It's really strange. It's a really strange concept. The more help you'll get, as long as you do all these steps we talked about at the beginning, having the grit, using the willpower, staying with the focus, the bigger the dream, the more likely it's going to come true. So think of a movement that you're starting in the world. That's the best way to think of it. Okay, all good? Moving on. Anyone want to share? Anyone want to share? What would be interesting? Corey, did you write more stuff? Like, what did you get after doing that? Did you feel like sharing that? I'll just unmute you all. You're all unmuted now, just so you know if you need to mute yourself if you've got anything noisy in the background. Corey, anything that you anything you want to share what you got now? Don't have to.
Yeah, mine was all about the feeling that I have surrounding it, because I feel like my vision, like I see the Body Mantra could turn into a book and an app, and it could be running and be just part of everyday life. I already kind of feel that strong vision, so it was more just about how I feel around that.
Yeah, and what'd you get? Like, give us a couple of sentences.
I feel beautiful and glorious. My body is agile and I'm calm. I run Body Mantra with grace and ease. I'm worshipped from everyone who is across it. People listen to me. I know and I can articulate what I'm talking about. I'm energized by my work and enormously proud of myself. I get paid $250,000 per year, and my husband is getting paid $700,000. I just made up these figures, and we have a beautiful house. That's what I wrote.
Yeah, and I got a bit, but I loved it when you were talking, because this really makes it. Can you think of how it's changed from what she said before was like a business plan? And now, when we cleared the humility and the authority, she's in her body and people are listening to her. And not only that, they're actually worshipping her, which is pretty out there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's completely, she wouldn't have thought about that before. And this is how the brain works, and this is how our spirits work, and this is how our soul aligns. If we've got more juice in it, there's more of a feeling, there's more of us in that. And when we're in it, it can come true. Otherwise, you're just someone else with a business plan, another hustling person out there in the universe trying to get something. We're not trying to do it, we're trying to create something. We're not trying to get something, we're trying to create something. It's a whole different energy. Okay, does anyone else want to share how these have changed in any way?
Yeah, Jen, mine became a bit more specific. So, like, what does it look like? So, we've actually live in two different houses. So one on the beaches, one in some sort of bushland with space and chickens and veggie patch and all that kind of stuff. And I can work from home or in the office, so in a creative space, but also still have plenty of energy and time for the kids and myself and for hubby, because we've got number 2 on the way, by the way. And yay, a little girl.
Seeing all these things coming that we were waiting for so long too. Hey, I've been working with Jen for years and years, guys, and we were praying and praying for her first one. Now she's got number 2, so we're so excited about that.
Yeah, she's due in March. So and we can travel and go to like energy conferences together. So I got really specific. Also, Jamie and I working together and separately.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it will come true, I guarantee it. And just imagine now, when you're daydreaming at Christmas, and you're lying by a pool or at the beach, imagine that you're with the kids traveling at these retreats. Just keep building the vision, and we're going through these steps. You're going to let it go again. If it's not that, it's going to be something else. So we get the gentleness around our creativity and what we're creating. Okay, so let's now do another clearing, just to make sure that we can really do it. Okay, so then we'll be finishing up. So if you want to just mute yourself, guys, because there's a little bit of shuffling, and that'll be good. Okay, the next one's lost. So I want you to write down now that you've written those 2 things, what's a little bit of a lost feeling still? What are you lost about? Just write down what you might be feeling lost about. A little lost has come up. Let's have a look. What feels a little bit lost? Just write that out. You might be lost about how to start creating it. It's not your job right now. It's not your job to work out the how. I had a beautiful client yesterday. We were doing a session, and And we got the word how, and I said, have you been Mrs. How? And she said, oh, you're so right. I've been going, because she's a manifester. This woman's a natural manifester. She's been going, how does that happen? How will I do that? How will I do this? How will I do that? So I sort of teased her. I said, if you're not going to stop doing that, I'm going to call you Mrs. Howard. Marry you off to Mr. Howard. If you're in Australia, you know that's not necessarily a good thing. He's one of our old prime ministers. It's like, forget trying to work out the how. Not when you're in a manifesting energy. Just let it unfold. If we get these steps right, it will come up. You'll know what to do. So forget about the how at this point. It's not your job to think of the how. So if that's making you lost, you write that down. And the next one that we need to do is mixed up. How do you feel mixed up? Write down where you're feeling mixed up at the moment. Mentally, what are you mixed up about? Is it a relationship? How would the relationship fit into this vision? What is it? Just write everything down. Mixed up about how you haven't been able to do it yet, and why would you be able to do it later if you've been trying different strategies, or working really hard and nothing's been happening. Mixed up about your value. Okay, so I'll just if someone wants to tell me, anybody want to share what they felt mixed up and lost about? Sometimes, again, I'm really grateful to people that share, because it helps other people have a perspective. So just unmute and tell me.
Hi, Jen. Sean here.
Hey, Sean. How are you?
Good. It was actually funny as I was writing it down, you were saying the words as I was writing them down. So lost on not sure where to start or how to create and what exactly it is that I'm doing that's delivering the value to others. And also feeling the mixed up is that clarity, the organization of time and tasks and the model structures of delivering that value. So I can see the end result. I know what I want to give others, but it's how do I actually formulate all that? That's a little bit confusing.
Okay, so our job, remember, this is step one. So our job here today is not the how. It's like and it's why these 7 steps, we're just going to clear up so that it doesn't sabotage the vision. Because if the brain will come in and start second guessing everything, and it'll start watering down the vision. Go, you know what? Maybe just work in Central Coast, or maybe don't spread that to a global thing. Maybe, you know what, that person didn't do that well. Maybe you won't. Like, or hang on, I haven't got time. I've got to, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
so we're clearing the energy so things have got a chance to breathe. So yeah, let's flip that now and flip into the feeling that's going to activate the change, not the thing to do. So thanks so much. That's great for sharing that. Thank you. Appreciate it. We've got the word surrender. Instead of lost, you're just going to surrender that bit right now. We get miracles overnight, guys, when you do this. It's like, don't think things need to take time too. I know we've planned out seven steps, but things can happen overnight when you get into this space, because you're out of the way and you're in a different alignment. So always believe that things can happen overnight, but work towards them taking a bit longer, if that makes sense. Okay, surrender. So you're going to surrender. So all that feeling that you just had, Shane, you can surrender that. Just surrender it. And we've got uphold. And I'll just see if there's a better word for uphold. Sometimes there's a word just off that. Uphold. We can champion. Does everyone like the word champion? Uphold and champion. You're going to uphold and champion yourselves. Surrender and champion myself. Okay, that's your goal. So my goal for this balance, I always put that in, is I surrender and champion myself. You're going to be a champ. You're going to champion yourself. You're going to cheer yourself on, but you're going to surrender. I don't know if this is going to work, but oh my God, I'm totally going to do this. Oh, this is going to be awesome. I don't know how, but I would love to do that with people. And I feel like it's what I'm merely meant to be doing. And I'm going to surrender how, but I'm going to champion myself. So it's like the two energies together. So I'll just mute you all and we're going to say that. So just say, I now choose to surrender and champion myself. So I want you to close your eyes and just get a bit of a feeling and a flash of what it looks like to really just let go, but just champion yourself. Like let go of the noise, what everyone else is doing, how it can work, who's doing better, how you're measuring yourself and your success, whether it's financially or against other people. And just decide to champion yourself. And again, we'll do this bunched up finger thing. This is the hologram mode. Bunch up your fingers like this for me. And then we're going to be looking up. If you've got glasses, just flick them off. And if you just watch me for a sec, you just remember how to do it. See, I'm not looking like that. I'm trying as much as I can to keep my face to the front. It's like eye yoga. It feels really good as it stretches your eyes around. And we're going all around, and your brain will pick up where you're not too clear on it. So if you want to think about it this way, it's going to send a fresh blood supply to that part of your brain, because as you move it, it's almost like, oh, that's hard to look there. And the brain goes, oh, send blood there. So if it's sending blood, it's sending neurotransmitters, it's sending all sorts of alchemy, all sorts of energy. It's almost like getting energy into parts of your brain that's blocked on this, if you want to think about it scientifically. And then I'm going to find you an age, 10 to 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, 30, 31, 32. Age 32 is, if anyone's younger than 32, I want you to think about what you would want to have by 32. Does this even feel possible by 32? So can you just write down 1 minute, just write down what was happening at 32 where you felt like, just like Shane said before, you had to really champion yourself. You couldn't. You were lost, you were mixed up. And then you started to second guess if it was even a vision to have. Just write down whatever comes to mind. We've got a bit of a circuit open, so it should be easy just to write automatically. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to tap for that. So just thinking about that time, again, it's like a zip here, zip that starts there and goes to there, and we're breathing in and breathing out, really thinking about that time and breathing in. We're just telling the brain, yeah, that happened, but that doesn't necessarily need to be how it happens again. So we're tapping down, hand on the forehead, and breathing in and breathing out, and in and out, and just accept, yeah, that's what it's like. That's what it was like for you. And then I want you to, and then we're going to put something positive in. I want you to imagine the vision, what you wrote, especially the second time you wrote it. Put your hand on your forehead and just breathing in and really feeling into that, what that would feel like, because you should be able to get a little bit more, if you want, blood supply to it now, more energy to it. So therefore it's got more energy to create from. And just breathing in and breathing out and in and out. And just accept, yeah, that's what it feels like. Because remember at the beginning of the training, I said, you have to go ahead of time and feel what it's like to feel what you want to feel later if you want to create something new and fresh. Otherwise, you're going to just be responding with the information around you, and that's a slower way to do business. It's a slower way to get to the next level. So we've done that. We did how did it change? Was there something to add? Did you notice something you didn't notice earlier? That's what we did with, went that through with Jen and Corey. And that's it, guys. That's how I did pretty well. We're only 4 minutes late. So you'll be able to get to the bus stop, Laurie. Okay, so I'll just unmute you. If you want to mute yourself back up, just do. I can't do you one by one. I'm muting you all. And if you've got any questions, we'll just stay on for another couple of minutes and answer any questions, whoever's got them.
Jen, this is Pedro.
Hey, Pedro.
Hi there. Can you clarify on point number 6 or step number 6? It seems to me that it would contradict, one of those. I forget which one, but
Okay, let me just look up the 6 one.
yeah, it's the allowance, I think.
Yeah, it's the next to the 6 step is you need to behave as if this reality already exists.
For now, and do front back, and then do the double page next week because I'm not going to do
hang on, I just mute
weekend delivery. And the brochure I think would be a good one for brochure.
Back, yeah.
So I don't want to do a 4-page brochure and then not put full on it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, sorry, Pedro. So it says you must behave as if this is your reality. Okay, you've got to behave as if this is your reality, as if it already exists in the present. Does that make sense? And what do you think that contradicts? The surrender one at the end?
No, I'm sorry. It's the last one where you said that that it might not happen or something like that.
Yeah, and we'll get into that and we'll really get all the nuances on that energy. But basically, you've got to surrender everything, because otherwise you're going to end up like one of those entrepreneurs that you see out there who are just grabbing, they get sick, their relationships suffer because they hold on too tight. And we've got to loosen our grip so that if it's not this, it's something better. It's almost like if you really want to co-create with the divine, you've got to give it back to the divine and say, okay, what is it that you really want for me? This is what I'd like. I really like this. I'm going to do everything I can to get it. But if it's not right, I'm willing to let it go.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
And we'll get, I love that last step is usually incredibly, last time I did this, guys, on the last step, this massive gum tree just went, we just took out actually our garage.
Oh, wow.
It was just like, what? And what was so lucky was my husband was not in his truck. He was due to be sitting in his truck at that point. He was doing this program and he went to the beach to do it at the beach instead of.
Oh my God.
It was like, I just went, oh, straight away it was a miracle that he was safe and his truck wasn't wrecked. But what it meant was we got this beautiful new garage and we decluttered all the stuff that had been sitting in the garage for like years and years and years. But, it was quite profound. I could hear, I looked up and I went, oh, and these gums are like hundreds, like, I don't know, decades old, at least, I don't know, 100 years old or 80 years old.
Yes.
They're massive, big giants. I had to get a little energy land person to come in and speak to all the trees. And I was working with the client at the time we came in and did some healing on all the trees. It was quite cool. But, that's an aside. But it's like a big clearing. It was definitely a clearing. And that's what happened at that last one. So this is an intense course, guys. So just be mindful that we're doing intense work. Look after yourselves in between, journal, have a bit of water, put protection around yourself as you're going out there in the world. A lot of just white light or pray or whatever you're going to do as you're getting around with these big ideas, because it's almost like density doesn't like a new big idea. So to work in the light and really create something, you're going to get a bit of resistance. So, get out there and just think about this vision and just keep it safe. And we'll see you on Sunday for the USA.
Thank you, Jen.
Right.
Thank you so
much, Jen.
Okay, see you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Jen.
Bye. Ciao, ciao.
I appreciate this.
Bye, Paula. Oh, good to see you here too.
Thanks, Jen. Lots of love to you.
Lots of love to you. Oh, that was Leah. Awesome.
Thanks, Jen. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jen. Good to see you.
Hey, how are you? Good. I didn't see all you've got funny numbers up there.
I know. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. How weird is that?
Hey, Sharon.
Weird technology.
See you, Hannah. Maybe it's just Sharon. See you, Gerardies. Lots of love. Ciao, ciao.